I'm here at my orthopedic doctor appointment. My stomach hurts so bad. I get so nervous about going to the doctor. I don't like it, but I'm just kind of here for a joint checkup. I want all my joints checked and having a little bit of pain in one of my shoulders. Just checking all that out because, you know, as a knitter and a crocheter, I use those joints a lot more than probably your average bear. But I'm gonna walk in now and I will let you know what they say. I don't know why I get so nervous at the doctor. I just am like, oh, I just really don't like it, but it's gonna be fine and I'm a big girl. I will come back out and I will let you know what they say. Hi everybody, I'm Elise from the blog LesPetitesSaintsCrochet.com, and today I am giving you my best tips for reducing pain from crocheting and knitting. I've actually dealt with this a little bit over the last, that's not true. I've dealt with this quite a bit in the last couple of years, and I've got some tips and some tricks and some warnings about how to deal with this nagging problem. I really tried to ignore the pain that I was experiencing in my elbow. I ignored it. I put my head in the sand. I didn't want to deal with it until finally it got so bad that I just thought, I'm going to have to stop crocheting. Something has to give. I made an appointment with my orthopedic doctor. He diagnosed me with tennis elbow, which I thought, well, that doesn't sound that bad. I used to play tennis in high school. How bad can that be? I didn't really realize that this was going to be a nagging problem and that I was going to have to change the way I was doing a lot of things. According to WebMD, tendinitis is irritation or inflammation of the tendon that attaches to the elbow. Before we go too far, I know you already know this, but this is not a substitute for medical advice. I'm just sharing the journey that I went on, the things that worked for me. So if you're in pain, if you are worried about any kind of injury, please go see your own doctor. One of the reasons why I did not want to go see the doctor was because I was so afraid he was going to tell me that I needed to stop knitting or crocheting. Really, that is a super dumb reason not to go see the doctor, but that's where my head was. When I saw him, he decided to go ahead and give me a shot of cortisone right in that joint. While that hurt a little bit, it did end up making it feel better. So for the next few weeks, I felt better and I just kept on crocheting. I didn't change anything. I just kept going exactly as I had before. Marathon crochet sessions. I wouldn't stop. I would just keep crocheting and crocheting and crocheting. And I was surprised when about a month later, the tendinitis that I thought was completely cured came back with a vengeance. At that point, I returned to my orthopedic doctor and he ordered me to go to physical therapy, which actually ended up being the best thing that I could have done because not only did it aid in my true healing, it also helped me to learn what my triggers were and how to prevent it from coming back again. One of the most important things I started implementing was taking breaks. When I would finish a project, I might take a day or even two off between projects to just give my arms and my hands a rest. Also, in the middle of a project, instead of crocheting and knitting for hours, which is a prescription for injury, I would take breaks. Now I take breaks all the time. I will crochet or knit for say 30 minutes or so. I put my project down, do something different, get up, move around, and then come back to it. It's really, really important to take short and long breaks. One of the other things I learned was that braces actually really help. So I have this little strap that goes on my forearm. This little compression pad right here actually helps to reduce the strain that is on that tendon, but I know they have some for wrists and for thumbs that can actually really help, and they are support items to help stop the pain. I also found that using ergonomic tools was actually really beneficial. These Furls crochet hooks helped reduce the strain and the tension from using a much skinnier crochet hook. One of the best things you can do is to support yourself. When you are crocheting on the couch or in your bed, make sure that you are using pillows to either put underneath your forearms or up under your arms here so that you are not just carrying the weight of your project, especially if you have a really, really heavy project like a blanket. But also give your back some support. So if you're sitting on the couch, put a pillow right behind your back, or if you're in the bed, just put something supportive so that you maintain good posture and you're not just kind of slumping over. One of the best things I did was go to physical therapy. Not only did I learn a whole lot about repetitive motion injuries, but I also got the healing I really needed. My physical therapist was trained in dry needling, which is very similar to acupuncture. They put little tiny needles all along pressure points and where all of those muscles are all knotted up, and it was really, really effective. That does sound a little bit miserable, but it wasn't. It was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little uncomfortable, but once I got used to it, I knew what to expect. It was great. The way she explained it to me and how I understand it is that dry needling is controlled inflammation. My physical therapist said that a lot of times we think of as inflammation is really bad, and she said inflammation that is not controlled can be really bad in the body. But when you have controlled inflammation through dry needling, what you're doing is you're getting a fresh flow of blood to that area, and blood and oxygen is healing. That is all great things that are going to be happening in those areas that are injured. I'm really glad I ended up doing that. I think that that might have been one of the most effective things that I did to heal my tennis elbow. One thing that I found out is that there is really only one proven exercise that actually helps with tendinitis in the elbow, and it is very simple, but if you're in active pain, it's probably not a good idea to do it yet. Wait until things have really calmed down. This is also something that can help to prevent this injury from happening. I'm going to show you how to do it right here. You're just going to drop your elbow down, lift up at the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, then drop, lift up, 1, 2, 3, drop. Do this at a table where you can rest your forearm on it. Also, as you grow stronger and stronger, I would not recommend this in the beginning, but you can add a little bit of weight, like a can of green beans or something like that, that is very lightweight, and you can just lift 1, 2, 3, drop. 1, 2, 3, drop. I did try a few topical products that it actually made the area feel better. I don't know that it actually benefited me in any way as far as healing is concerned, but they do feel good. This one is probably my favorite. It has the roller top. I like this one. It's very similar to something like an Icy Hot. You can get these anywhere. My husband really likes this CBD Medic product. It is a CBD oil type of topical sport cream, they call it. I think it was fine. I'm not as convinced as my husband is that it actually helps. My husband uses it for his knee that gives him issues. So I will leave links to these in the description box below, but you can find these anywhere, and you probably already have some in your cabinet. I think one of the absolute best things I ever did was using ice packs. I think icing is one of the most effective ways to reduce inflammation and pain that you can do after a long crochet or knitting session. I would just pop these little ice packs on. I really like using the straps that you can purchase where you just stick these in, you wrap it around, it sticks right on there, and it is super, super easy. There's also ones that you can microwave them so that they're warm. So if you want warm heat, if you want cold ice, either one, I think they're really, really effective, and they're super simple, and they're pretty cheap, that you can find them anywhere. I've got a link in the description box below. One of the best things my physical therapist helped me with was to identify other triggers besides crocheting and knitting that were contributing to my tendinitis. Some of those things were yoga, putting a lot of pressure on my elbow joint. I was also carrying my groceries, really heavy bags that was really pulling. Also holding the leash a certain way. When I took my dog Jersey Boy, I needed to switch that up a little bit. One of the biggest things that I was doing was holding my phone in a certain way. If I just laid it down rather than holding it like this, it was relieving a lot of the pressure. So identifying additional triggers is something that is so, so important and can make a huge difference. Yesterday, I forgot to mention one of the biggest triggers that really has changed my journey as a crocheter and a knitter. I was listening to the Be Hooked podcast one day. Brittany and a guest were talking about different types of yarn, and the guest mentioned something about cotton is a less stretchy fiber, and they ended up kind of talking about how sometimes cotton can cause issues with discomfort in people's finger joints and their wrist and elbow and shoulders, and a light bulb went off, and I thought, oh oh my gosh, I am exclusively using cotton yarn for all of my amigurumi. So I decided to do a little experiment. We were going to the beach and I only brought this beautiful hedgehog fiber 100% wool yarn that I had been dying to use, and I decided to make the little unicorn with it. And I noticed, we were there for a whole week, I was only using 100% wool, which is a much stretchier yarn than cotton, and I noticed that my symptoms improved. So from that day forward, I have decided not to use cotton. I actually did try it for another project and noticed some soreness. I just decided not to use cotton yarn. So that's something maybe to think about. Are you using any type of fibers that are less stretchy? Maybe look into that. But for this point, I do not use cotton yarn at all. Another tip I have for you is to switch up your crafting. My good friend Katie, who I've mentioned before, really told me, no wonder you have tendinitis in your elbow. All you're doing is making amigurumi, which is just single crocheting over and over and over again. And she was so right. One of the things that I did was I started knitting. Knitting may seem so much like crocheting that, oh my gosh, you're just doing the same thing, but it really is different. And I found actually that knitting is less hurtful to my joints than crocheting for some reason. So now I try to switch things up a little bit more. I could probably do better with that, but I love knitting toys and crocheting toys so much. But I really should diversify a little bit, but that is also something that is really good. Just switch it up, do different things, do new things. Even if it's you knit some toys, but you are crocheting a granny square blanket and you're knitting a sweater and you're just switching up things, or you are painting or drawing or gardening or baking, different things that get you moving and not doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. I hope you found some of these tips and tricks helpful. Right now, this is a topic that is really on my mind a lot lately. I'm dealing with some new shoulder pain. I'm trying to employ these tips and tricks so that I can start alleviating some of that pain. But if you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by the Le Petite Saint Crochet YouTube channel. I really hope that you will subscribe, that you will like, that you will comment. Let me know where you're from. I would love to know if you are dealing with any type of pain, and if you have been here a while, thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've got a few other videos that you might want to check out, and I will see you guys in the next video.